unanimously. It appears it's not even actually. In fact, okay, I will call the meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the San Clemente Beaches, Parks and Recreation Commission on December 12th, 2023, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'd like to stand. Commissioner Weinstein, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. We will, let's see, just to brief everybody on where we are. Last time we went, we had 4 people here. We are welcoming 3 new members to the commission tonight, and that is Commissioner Grace, Commissioner Rousseau, and Commissioner Weinstein. So we are at a full staff of 7 commissioners tonight, so I will do the roll call. Commissioner Elliott.
Present.
Commissioner Grace.
Present.
Commissioner Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner Rousseau.
Present.
Commissioner Weinstein.
Present.
Chair Pro Tem Queskin here, and Chair Firestein is here as well. Do we have any special presentations this evening?
None this evening.
Okay. So next is approval of the minutes. Samantha, I kind of would like your advice on here. 3 of the people here were not here at this meeting, at least they were not part of the commission at the meeting. So is it enough for us to get approval for the minutes for the 4 people who were here?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, does anybody have any comments or changes to the minutes of October 10th?
Move approval. Second.
Okay, moved by Queskin, seconded by Johnson. All those in favor? Aye. Approved unanimously. Oral communications. It appears somebody has compliments for Beaches, Parks, and Rec Director. Nobody. What was that?
Did I not leave my
No.
name?
No.
No, name is blank. Susan Ambrose, underwriting.
I apologize for that greatly. I'm so excited to see a group of people in Beaches, Parks and Recreation who have great experience and are so diverse.
It's hard to hear the speaker.
Yeah, is that my phone?
Oh, is it on?
It was on and now it was off, sorry.
Can you hear me? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can you reset her time?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. My name is Susan Ambrose. I used to be one of you until I moved back over to Coastal Advisory Committee. However, we have not officially opened our group yet. Is it the mask that's causing you not to hear me?
No, it's better now. It's just a little mumbled.
Oh, it might be my cold that I had.
If you
I
stand
can
closer, we can
highly
hear you.
protect this here. At any rate, if you can't hear me at all, let me know, and I'll send a letter instead. Anyway, I was saying that I used to be on this commission, and I enjoyed it very much. You have so many wonderful things that you can do for the city of San Clemente and the community. I've moved back over to Coastal Advisory Committee, and I'm so pleased to see the diverse and experienced level of all of you sitting up there behind the dais. And just to add a little correction there, our last 2 people, Terry Rousseau and Amelia Weinstein, I pronounced that correctly, were sitting on the board before, and they did a great job. And so I want to welcome them back, and I'm sure you'll continue to do a great job. Thank you very much. And of course, then I looked at our director, and isn't she great that she gives us so many of you, all of us, so many ways, including the community, to offer information and ideas to the city. So bravo to all of you for taking this chance, for jumping in with all of your knowledge, and just go for it. I know some of most of you, and so just go for it. I believe in you. Believe in yourself to do the great job. And remember, respect for each other and encouraging each other is 2 ways to really do that. And you all know that. I trust that you will do all of that. And if you have any questions ever to call me about coastal issues, feel free to do that. Thank you very much, and have a great year.
Thank you, Susan. Next up is John Tilton.
Well, I don't know how I'd be able to follow that up, but I have a couple of concerns. I love that you guys always listen to citizens, and we appreciate you greatly. I'm representing a few of the pickleball community in San Clemente, and several people have expressed concerns about the second gate not being opened at San Gregorio. There's only one gate that's opened, and it forces us to go through Court 1, so it really alleviates play on Court 1, and some people also think it's a safety issue. God forbid somebody hurt a knee or an ankle or something on one of the back courts. They'd have to weave their way through gates to have an emergency exit coming out. So even though the tennis courts aren't being used right now, we'd like to be able to have access through there just as safety and to make it convenient so that we can actually use all four of the pickleball courts there. Also, we'd like to be able to find out if there's a way to make a recommendation of this council over to code enforcement, to find out if there's a way to get a decibel check to make sure the changes that we've made to the park fall in the parameters of 55 decibels or less that the city recognizes, just to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep the neighborhood happy there. And then lastly, Steed is a wonderful facility, but it is kind of overcrowded there, and a lot of people there don't understand the hours and what we're recommending for beginner play to be at San G, so we're hoping that there might be able to have a sign put at Steed that just says, hey, we encourage beginners to play over at San G, here's the hours of operation over there. Besides that, if there's a chance to reverse the signage out at Steed also, that would be better, because it seems the advanced players want to play on the beginning courts and the beginning players want to play on the advanced side. So it kind of, if we could just reverse all the sign numbers there, that would be great. That's all I got. But you guys are awesome. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Andy Hall.
Commissioners, it's very nice to be here tonight. I'm Andy Hall, I'm the city manager. Usually Samantha finds a way to get on my calendar and block your meetings so I can attend. I'm just kidding. But I don't get to come very often because there's just so many other things that are happening. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to just thank you for all that you do. Welcome some people back to the community and tell everybody else what a great job you're doing. So it was great to have to lead someone up to your meeting tonight, or I wouldn't have known what was going on. I just left the Human Affairs Committee meeting. So just really want to tell you guys thank you for all that you do. As you know, the recreation program in San Clemente is probably second to none, and cities much larger than us would love to have our recreation program, and you guys are a big part of that, and really appreciate all that you guys do and the support that you provide to the city. And it really is noticed and appreciated, and just enjoy your holidays, and thank you for what you do. And one of the things that I'll put in the budget is the doubling of your salaries next year. Yes, I don't know what zero doubled is, but whatever that number is, you're going to get it for next year. In fact, we'll triple it for next year. So, anyway, appreciate all you do. I know that it's a labor of love. You don't do it for the perks that we provide you, which is nothing. But we really appreciate all that you do. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Andy?
There's a question.
I have a question.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Where are we at in the Inflation Reduction Act money? Are we making an application for that? Or?
We have. There's a lot of people in the application process, and we'll see how that turns out. I did want to let you know that I know you are talking about beautification tonight. Wanted to let you know that I have met with the Downtown Business Alliance, and we have some plans going on for Del Mar. So short of Del Mar, if you'll kind of let us massage those plans for Del Mar, I know you're talking about beautification throughout the city, but that one, we need to pay some special attention to that, and we're working a few things through with them, so that'd be great. And I'm open to any other questions. Sir.
Yeah, so back to the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yes.
Is there a portion of what we're applying for relative to the parks? In other words, maybe putting charging stations in the park?
Yes, and there's a lot of funding for charging stations that is separate from that. The state of California as well as SDG&E are very aggressive in trying to help us find ways to get more charging stations. They would like them to be in both commercial centers, and actually, I think now all multifamily housing requires it. But yeah, there's an element to that. I think that we would be more successful going through those programs that the state offers and SDG&E than through the Inflation Reduction Act, because that, anytime there's a new pot of money, everybody runs to it. And I think that anytime that there is other funding opportunities, those are the applications that get turned down first. They'll say, well, why don't you go apply through this pot of money, because you can get it through that. I do think we could be more aggressive. And by the way, there's a lot of electrical cars in this community. I think we might lead the nation per capita in Teslas. But we probably do need to continue to find ways to have charging stations in our community, no doubt about it. And I will commit to you that we will look at better funding sources for EV, because that's certainly a growing part of our population.
Like corporate funding, I mean,
Yes,
SDG&E.
SDG&E and
Make the money.
correct. And they're very aggressive with that. They have some money they've got to spend on it, so we'll identify some
In the parks,
locations.
when everybody's sitting there, all the Tesla people are in soccer games, they can charge their cars.
There you go, absolutely. Parks are a great place for it, absolutely.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Amanda Q.
I'm glad, City Manager, hello, Commissioners. I'm glad the City Manager mentioned about Delmar and the Downtown Business Association, because it's been that pet project of mine for about 2 years now, taking care of the plants on Delmar, some of them that are sometimes are forgotten, and we're, especially during COVID, the business owners were really stressed regarding just making ends meet, and so helping out in any way I can. And I know later on you're going to be discussing the beautification of St. Clemente. I reached out to Q Doan from the St. Clemente Garden Club, and she is one of the committee chairs for the St. Clemente Garden Club in response to civic beautification. And I think this was brought up before at a previous meeting, and I talked to her before I came here, and of course, we're also limited with the volunteers that we have to help out Semper Fi or Casa Romantica, and that's something that I know because I'm one of those people. It's usually 5 or 6 of us that usually go. Sometimes it's just 2 of us, or sometimes it's just Q. So I know that you have some plans, but I think it's really imperative to talk to the St. Clemente committee members and really discuss with them about what kind of what do you want to bring forward, because a one-time event would be okay, but as a one-time thing. But Lizette Crane is the president, and Laura Bart is the first co-vice president for programs. And so if you could, reach out to them. And I know Donna Madrine is one of the committee. I think she's second co-vice president. So I think you could reach out to them. And as far as my resident said tonight, regarding the safety at San Gregorio Park regarding pickleball, I know from a concerned resident that she has taken pictures, or not she, but pictures have been forwarded to her regarding people actually climbing over the fence to do that. So that's a safety hazard there. So it's a big concern. So anyways, thank you so much for your time.
I have a question.
Thank you.
I have a question.
You have a question for Amanda?
Yeah. Amanda, what's our approach to native plants in terms of, some of these public areas? Because I know they're low maintenance, and they don't take water, and it's kind of a movement. There's kind of a movement, I guess, to use native plants. Because some of the things I think we planted are kind of high maintenance, aren't they? The flowers and that kind of thing, the perennials and the annuals.
Around town, well, as far as like the Semper Fi Park, they do plant native plants, but they also have a butterfly garden there. So like tomorrow, I guess, Lana is going to bring in some milkweed to bring for butterflies. So we're really actually, it's really based on what Wayne Nichols did, because that's his park, that's the ES Foundation regarding that. So depending on what we plant there. Casa Romantica, that is basically up to NOAA. And he is who's in charge of Casa Romantica and the planning and, having more of a botanical garden and, with some succulents as well. But it's just really up to him. But around the city, that would be up to Randy Little and, and his department. So I'm sorry I can't answer more questions about that. My information is limited on what city. But I think from what I remember, what Patricia Holloway had mentioned is you want to have native plants, but you want to have some diversity there. And so that's, like for instance, Bonnie Barnes, when the St. Clemente president, had mentioned not planting too many pine trees, because last year, a couple of years ago, there's like 400 trees had to get cut down because of the beetle infestation. So you want to have diversity in that. So I think I really support that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. Community activities and updates, recreation activities and events.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Samantha Riley, Beaches Parks and Recreation Director. I just wanted to provide an update on what we've done and then what we've got coming up. Since we last met, we held our annual pumpkin splash event and our doggy dive event. We want to commend one of our lifeguards who performed the first canine rescue at the beach club, and they leapt into action when there was an older dog struggling to swim, and she pulled him out of the water. So we saw a great turnout, and both of these events are really exciting to bring people to our pools. Next slide, please.
It's very slow.
It's very slow. Well, after that, we also hosted our Monster Dash event. We got a few more folks this year. I think we reached over 300 people participating this year. A really good turnout, and my staff and team are excited to continue the effort of this event. Seeing that it's growing year to year, which is a great sign. And we saw really creative and festive costumes come out, so we look forward to continuing that effort as well. And then closing into, also in October, we hosted our Red Ribbon Week and National Night Out event as well, in partnership with St. Clemente Police Services and many of our local public safety partners. Another fantastic turnout. Almost all of our public schools participated, and many of our private schools as well, in the Red Ribbon Parade. And then in December, we just finished hosting, in partnership with the Downtown Business Association, the Santa's Village by the Sea event. That was held on the first Saturday in December. We saw more attendance than we have seen in the years past, upwards of, there we go.
Sorry.
I'll finish on our Santa's Village event. We saw upwards of 10,000 people come out to our Santa's Village event, which was a fantastic turnout. The street was packed, the snowmobile was very busy, and Santa got to visit with lots of young kids, and we lit a brand new holiday tree at the end of the street. So if you haven't had a chance to get down to Del Mar, our Public Works Maintenance Services Division has done a terrific job of making it very glitzy and really lighting it up this year, including the tree at Esperanza as well, which is a San Clemente tradition also. And I'll rewind to this wonderful new event that we hosted for the first time, the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos event. We held it at Maxburg Park on November 2nd. This was Recreation's first annual of this activity, and we are certainly looking forward to continue to hosting this event as it leans into many of our cultural activities and events specific to this area as well. This was a great park site to host it at. You can see we had some incredible talent show up. And I give a big kudos to my team of staff who, I have some hourly staff who've been dedicated to working Maxburg Park and Las Palmas for close to 15 years as rec leaders, and they stepped up and really provided community-based talent organizations and brought in a lot of different services. So we look forward to hosting this again next year and continue to see it grow. And then I think the next one is, it's probably slow,
There we go.
the gingerbread contest, and we'll rewind or fast forward back to December. My front desk staff, the customer service team, prides themselves on this event. We put together a gingerbread contest community-wide, and these are some of the winners from the contest. The talent in San Clemente is incredible. If you didn't have a chance to go through the contest room this year, certainly look for it next year. We'll be headed into our 5th annual, and we get really incredible products out of this. As you can see in the middle, there's the pier with Tower Zero. The one on the left is an advent calendar. So just remarkable talent and baking skills also. And then that's our new holiday tree, and we've got Santa in the fireside room. And upcoming events, you can catch Sunsets with Santa for one more weekend at the end of the pier, 3 p.m. to sunset. It's free photos, Santa's out there. Bring your own camera. There's no charge for this activity, just an opportunity to walk to the end of the pier, see the incredible new lights that are on the pier as well, courtesy of Pier Pride and the city's partnership. And enjoy the magic of what is the pier at this time of year as well.
Did you say the new tree at the end of the pier?
No, there is, that tree is now 3 years old. It's not new. The community center one is new.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Looks like we have nothing under old business, so we'll move on to new business. Consideration of playground replacement design at North Beach. Samantha?
Yes, thank you. This is an exciting item to bring to this commission. I think this is kind of the fun part of Parks and Recreation, because we get to talk about playgrounds. And playgrounds bring joy to so many kids and adults of all shapes and sizes and abilities. So this playground is in North Beach. If the commission is aware, there's currently a swing set at North Beach, and this location is just south of the North Beach concession stand. This area previously has had a slide. It had volleyball courts. It's gone through some iterations of recreation amenities there. Right now, we just have a swing set. So part of the North Beach placemaking plan, as it details in the staff report, was to revitalize North Beach, including updating the playground with the intent to really bring families back to this space. City Council has made an amazing amount of strides towards improving this area from a public safety standpoint, and we're seeing families return to North Beach. So we're excited to bring this playground out as well. City staff released an RFP to consider proposals and designs from playground manufacturers. We received several proposals. What you're seeing tonight is proposals that fit within budget. I also want to note that the proposals that you're looking at are derivative of the survey results. We did a public survey receiving 209 answers and feedback. I've summarized those details within the staff report, but overall shade is important, slides are important, swings were important. Some kind of ocean or beach theme was preferred, as well as climbing features. The full details of the survey are included in your staff report, but it's pretty extensive. So I hope that you might have a chance to read through that. But overall, this is a successful public survey that we feel like we received a lot of good feedback on. So I'm going to go through a quick presentation. I'll go through structure to structure unless there's any immediate questions.
Samantha, did you know when the survey was conducted? I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was done through September. It was open for about 30 days or so.
This year?
Yeah, it was this year.
Okay.
Yep, this is very recent.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so you can follow along the staff report, but I also have slides, so they're a little bit bigger on your screen as well. Structure number 1, there it is. This is company Pacific Play. They provided 2 options for us to consider. This is the first option. It's a pirate theme at about $293,000. I want to note that the surfacing you're seeing won't be used. We'll be installing right onto the beach. So you can, this is just a rendering. You can go to the next slide. So these are some different angles. Can you click on that link, Debbie? This is a flyover video that they provided.
Nope.
Okay. We'll keep going. So you can see there's a sand scoop feature. This has a couple of slides. It does have the shade over the main structure, as well as some tunnels and kind of climbing features. The lower right photo has, in the back, it has a sensory panel, kind of a movement panel. You can go to the next slide. This is just another angle. You can see the swings are on the very far left. And really this shows the profile of what is supposed to be a pirate ship, if you will. Next slide. This is an aerial view and kind of a focus into the swing set. This swing set includes 2 belt swings, which are your traditional swings on the right, and also, I forget what they call it. It's no, it's actually intended for a child and a parent to sit together and they face each other. We're seeing these come up in some new park designs, so it allows for any kind of caretaker and child to sit face to face and swing together. So that's what you're seeing on the left side as well. If the commission wanted to do a different swing, we could potentially do an adaptive swing in that space instead. It has to be in its own bay, which would allow for that potentially. Next slide. Okay, are there any questions on that structure? So structure number 2 is the boat theme, again from the same company. This one features a whale climbing feature that gets children up to the platform area. Go to the next slide, please. Again, it has the shade structure. It has 2 swings, just those belt swings. It doesn't include a bay for any other type of swing. The real feature of this is this boat structure that allows kids to get in and pretend that they are a captain or they're sailing the seas. It's that element of interactive play. You can see in lieu of the pirate theme, they've gone into more of a ship theme on the structure itself. It also includes a seesaw, and this, again, this sensory play panel. The staff, as you'll note in the staff report, to make this fall within budget, the recommendation would be to remove the seesaw and probably the play sensory panel. You could also look to remove the whale climbing feature or the speedboat as well. That would allow this structure to fall into under the $300,000 budget. Those kinds of structures, the whale feature, can be quite costly because they are typically custom made. Next slide. Okay, structure number 3 is by Western State Builders. This is the Beach Shack theme at $320,000. This is the aerial view, including shade. You can go to the next slide. So the upper photo you'll see is a, I would say, some kind of VW bus feature that kids can climb into and have some interpretive and imaginative play. It includes a shade structure with some small seats below it, and then the bird nest swing is on the right side in that photo, and then you can see the drums towards the front. In order to make this design fall within budget, we would recommend removing the drum feature as well as the gas station pump feature if the commission wants to go in this direction. You can also see in the lower photo it has several slides. It's got some climbing features. There's also this, what they call a store panel setup, that would also be recommended for removal in order to keep this within budget. Next slide. And then this is a highlight of this surfboard feature. Similar to the Whale, this is a different company's use of kind of play feature that kids can climb onto the waves, climb up to the surfboards, they can get the picture that they're surfing on the surfboard, but then also enter into the playground as well. And these are very customizable. They come up with different designs, different paint options, and color schemes as well. And then structure number 4 is Zoom Recreation's first option. This is beach swings. It includes 2 belt swings. This falls well within budget. And this is really your typical ramp and platform play structure. It has, if you can go to the next slide, it's got a couple of slides, it has the shade, and it just has the overall beach theme to it with the surfboards, the waves, the lighthouse, the life-saving ring. Next slide. You can see there's 2 belt swings. This is just another angle of the play structure. Next slide. And then the last option that this company has submitted in lieu of the swings, so that the play structure is recommended to stay the same, but in lieu of the swings, they've added in a Jeep and a boat. You can go to the next slide. There it is. So this is a lifeguard boat and lifeguard Jeep coinciding with shade over it and next to the playground. Again, staying within budget on that one as well. So that kind of captures the 5 different options. I'm happy to take questions if there are any. But the goal from here is to get a recommendation from the commission. If you guys, this body feels comfortable making a recommendation to council, we would then take that recommendation to council and go from there. The contract award.
Are they all about the same size?
Yes.
Is there enough sand there in the area?
Yeah, so maintenance services works almost every day to make sure that sand is pushed underneath. There's requirements from a fall zone standpoint when you're climbing on the playground. So every day, maintenance goes out there and makes sure that there's sand even under the existing swing sets. That's a daily routine for them. At this point, staff's not concerned about the space allocated. All of these fit within that space that we were looking to put a structure in.
Are they all about the same size?
They are, yes, they do. They take up, well, they're gonna expand a little bit farther than what is the swing set right now. They'll kind of inch a bit closer to the picnic shelter, but we'll stay within the shower and the picnic table, I'm sorry, not the shelter, that space, that footprint.
And the shade, the umbrellas, they wouldn't block anybody's anything?
No, shade structures over playgrounds typically don't go much higher than the structure themselves. They're usually mounted onto the unit and wouldn't exceed too farther beyond the height of the play structure.
Okay, thank you.
Jennifer, you have a question?
Samantha, question about structure 3, the beach shack. It says to keep us under budget, we would lose the gas pump and the drum feature. I couldn't see the gas pump feature. Are you able to find that?
Yeah, go back. It kind of is hidden. Let me see if I can see it on your attachments.
Page 16.
Page 16.
It kind of blends in. Yes, there it is. Do you see that, Jennifer, on page 16 of your attachment 2? Is probably the best image of it.
That is better, so I see the gas pump. And
Yeah.
the drum, I think was,
The drum is best viewed,
Just past it.
yeah. Page 20, the drum is on the right-hand side.
got it. Thank you.
Other questions? Samantha, I have a question. So option number 3, the beach theme. There's almost like a sign at the very top there above, I don't even know what that thing is that it's above, but it's kind of at the very top of the structure. And I don't even know what it says in this view. Is that customizable? Like, since we're trying to do some place making, maybe that could say North Beach or something?
I can certainly ask the company if that can happen. It says Surf Shack on it.
It says Surf Shack?
Yes.
Let me just point out too that the new mural located very close to this location is a kind of a sandy toes kind of beach theme, people walking along planks on the sand. So I'm kind of inclined to go with a beach theme. But that's just me.
I think these are customizable because it says Oceanside, La Costa, and Samara on their signs.
Do you want to take a general vote to see if we like the majority one or what our favorite one is each? or-
Do you have a comment on this item? Did you receive a comment?
Yes, there's a comment right there.
Oh, thank you. Amanda?
What was the last slide that was on there?
The Jeep and the boat.
The Jeep and the boat. I like the one with the three, as a child, that one. I like the fact that we have three swings on there, and that's really accommodating for everybody. But my concern was the little, the cars and the other structures where someone could, I mean, how small are those structures? It's not like someone could camp in there, sleep there overnight, and that's where my concerns are. Because we have seen some people sleep underneath the lifeguard stands at times, so I just want to make sure, is that little car really tiny, like, or how big is that?
My guess, if I can answer that, is it probably, they typically fit like little kids, but usually they can squeeze themselves in, about 4 of them probably. But this is intended for a 5 to 12-year-old play. That's the target age range with this, but certainly somebody could find themselves in that area.
Right, yeah.
It's certainly a consideration.
Okay, great, thank you so much. I was thinking maybe a combination of one and the other, another project, or another, combining the two. But I know that probably might be costly or not, but they're just really great spaces, and just kind of concerned about the sand and how much we have there, and being compact and more streamlined. Because plastic sometimes, if it is plastic, gets really hot, and that's another concern that I have. So, but thank you so much for your time.
Are these the similar manufacturers that they did at San Jeep?
No, these are different companies. These companies they all manufacture their products in the U.S., typically in Alabama or Georgia, in that area of the United States. None of them are wood. Some of them are recycled plastic material, and all of them can be, and their quotes include a coastal erosion package that allows it to be pretty weatherproof. I mean, we all know that the salt air is not friendly to any of our amenities, including playgrounds, but at least there can be an extra preventative coating added to all of these structures.
We have another comment card. Susan Ambrose?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. I looked at all 5 of these, and for beach lovers, I think there's something valuable and interest and fun in all of them. I come from an educational perspective, however, and I'm wondering if any ideas were submitted that would perhaps feature marine animals, and then have a little sign talking about who that marine animal is and what, facts and data about them. And those kinds of things they've been doing at the Dana Point, not only the education programs that they have there, but the Institute as well. So I thought you might want to think about that as passing, maybe even weekly you could do something like that. But if there were rides or something with marine life names or things like that, I think it would be very interesting for parents and children, and a good introduction to our community about let's find out more about the creatures in the water. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions from commissioners?
I have one other question. Can I confirm, Samantha, that structure 5 deletes the swings that are in structure 4?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yes, that's correct.
You know, I guess I just want to say, it's just really a comment. I kind of share Commissioner Grace's concern about the sand in that area. I mean, right now, there is kind of a drop down from the level where the swing set is right now, and it appears that sand is eroding as it is kind of many places. And I mean, pushing sand back up there, I guess is an approach, and if that's what we have to do right now, that's what we have to do. But we aren't, as part of the current project, we aren't getting sand in this area, so it is a concern to put something brand new into an area that, in my mind, looks kind of risky.
I think the structures, I mean, what we have there definitely needs to be upgraded, right? I mean, it's fun with the swings. I mean, I think the slide's gone. Is the slide gone now? Yeah. You know, I mean, I used to take my son down there to the slide and the swings. Swings to me are kind of necessary. But I just think this more simpler, the better in that area. If we're going to do something, you know, and keep it more ocean focused and I think new swings, I think maybe some kind of small something, maybe if it's not a slide, it might be something to climb on, but I just feel like these are so extravagant. But that's just my opinion.
Well, like Ms. Ambrose brought up, I like the whale one. I mean, we might not have the signage of it, how much it weighs or what it does, but I like the whale one out at the beach.
Yeah, and I like the surfboard too.
Yeah.
Because it did go with the theme, that's the mural that's there right now. So. But I just, personally for me, I think the simpler the better.
Do we want to rank what like our number 1 choices by each person and see if we narrow it down a little bit?
So these are all the for sure options. Are these the for sure options that the five that we have, or would we have any more submitted, or just that?
These are the only, there are others, but they're out of budget, so staff has not presented those to the commission. They even by removing some elements, they likely would not fall in their budget.
But I assume we could say, like, we're picking option whatever, but we want to make sure there's swing sets in it or something.
Yes, if you're looking at a specific design that doesn't have swing sets, I'd have to go back to the playground company to see what it costs to add that in. If you're looking to remove things, you can certainly take things out and request that things get added. That's all feasible.
Would anybody like to make a motion to just pick one and have us vote on it, or how would you like to proceed?
Can I make a motion that each commissioner pick their top one, and from there we can decide if any are eliminated?
Okay. Do we need a motion to do that, or should we just do that as part of, let's say, general discussion?
Just do that for your
Can we
discussion.
pick 2? You get 2 votes? No, you don't get 2 votes. Okay, we will do that now. Amelia.
I'm not sure which one to call it. It's the one with the whale. I'm not sure what option that one is.
3.
Is that number 2?
That's number 2. Okay.
Commissioner Rousseau?
I like number 2 as well. Has
Okay.
plenty of the swings in the extra bay.
Okay.
It doesn't have an extra bay.
Ed?
Great.
I'm a 3.
Quick question for commissioners who pick number 2. Would that be keeping the whale?
Yes, that's the important feature that I think is the whale.
I thought we had to get rid of the whales if there's a budget.
No, you can get rid of the speedboat.
The
Okay,
seesaw.
okay, gotcha.
I think we were gonna get rid of the seesaw on that one.
Yeah, you'd have to get rid of either the whale or the speedboat in order to fit within budget. So you could choose to get rid of the seesaw and the play panel as well as the boat and keep the whale. That would essentially keep the structure of the whale and the swing set, if that's what we want.
Quick question for Director. Would that be removing the sensory play panel as well?
Yes.
Is there any way that we'd be able to keep that in?
Let me look really quickly after all information.
Because I like structure too as well. It's just that there are families here in San Clemente who have been calling me and who are asking for more inclusive play equipment for their children who are affected by autism. So I think that's really important. If we could work that out, I'd definitely support structure too.
I think Amelia and I want to change our vote to being that we have to remove the things that we really wanted in there in order to make it happen. My friend. I'm going to vote for 3.
You're gonna vote for what?
I'm going to vote for 3.
Oh, for 3.
So we're in between 2 and 3, but let's go for 2 more commissioners and see which way they go.
Commissioner Grace.
Oh boy. I liked the whale, number 2, and I also like number 4.
And can I ask as choice, I didn't hear his. As
Number 3.
You said 3.
3. I'm between 3 and 4, so I'm on board for 3.
So on number 3 is the swing that big, the round thing? Is that what the swing is, that donut looking thing?
Yeah, it's called a nest swing. It's essentially a little bit of a modern tire swing, but it has ropes in the center of it that allows multiple children to sit in it and swing together.
I see that being used as a hammock.
Yes.
Is it possible to ask if we could switch that to traditional
Certainly.
swings?
Yes. Yeah, we can, swings are interchangeable, as long as there's a fall zone and a footprint. For a swing, you can typically add, you can swap those out.
It sounds like the majority of us could go with number 3 then. Am I correct?
I think that's where we're getting to.
It seems that the 2 things that we would lose on number 3 don't really give up too much. The gas pump and the drums, they're not really important features. Correct, I agree. Do you want a motion for that?
But we would keep the bus.
Keep the bus.
Keep the bus, but change the hammock.
Okay. Are you ready? Go ahead.
Can I make a motion that we accept number 3 as a possible suggestion for the playground equipment at North Beach?
You want to add a couple comments to that, like you wanted to change the
Yes, we
nest
want.
swing to
we want-
more traditional swings, and what was the other thing?
Removing the drums.
Removing the drums.
gas.
Removing the
Same
drums,
budget.
yeah.
Yes.
And switching the swings.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Weinstein, second by Rousseau. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, moving on to communications, item 7. Any master plan updates, Samantha?
This is for Steve Park, the pickleball plans that this commission reviewed for 24 courts. We're still waiting on some additional proposals for the environmental update that's required to that area, so I don't have any updates regarding that. And then regarding Beaches, Parks, and Recreation items, just a reminder that this community center and the aquatic center are closed during the furlough between Christmas and New Year's. And the Ole Hanson Beach Club will be open for pool access in lieu of the aquatic center. We do an annual closure at the aquatic center for 2 weeks. And then in January, we will be replastering the 50-meter pool at the aquatic center. This has been a project long in the coming and long in the making, and it's going to be a potentially 6 to 8 week closure, so long as all the construction goes well and we don't have any weather constraints. So we will be shifting programming to the 25-yard pool at the Aquatic Center, as well as utilizing the beach club. Certainly our user groups and our classes are impacted. That's inevitable given the loss of that large pool. But we're trying to make best in consideration of everybody's needs. But we do have some swim team times that are impacted, water aerobics is impacted, as well as our swim lessons. So we're going to work quickly to get that project up and running. And then the other item I wanted to share with the commission is an update regarding the dogs on the beach. The last time the commission reviewed this, there was a recommendation provided to the city council. That item is going to go to city council after the new year. It will be a full package of what the commission's recommendation was, and then staff can give direction to, or council can give direction to staff on going forward, whether that's based on the commission recommendation or a derivative of that. We'll go from there. And then the last item I wanted to give an update to is, I just lost him. Where it went.
Just happens. Merry Christmas.
Was it Steve Park rules or?
Something about aquatics.
Oh.
Oh, I wanted to share with the commission that the city council accepted a donation from the San Clemente Aquatics team, a $90,000 donation for a new scoreboard at the Aquatic Center, which is a very generous donation from the club. They've done a really good job of fundraising and pooling their money through parents and local businesses to support that project. So staff will be working with the aquatics team through the pool replaster to kind of get that space prepared, and then when we're ready, we'll install that scoreboard. And it really will be a very modernized space and scoreboard, a lot of functionality with supporting advertisements for programs and events and things like that. So we're very grateful for the swim team's donation. And another update regarding San Gregorio Playground, the commission also recommended and approved, the council approved changing the surfacing of San Gregorio Park Playground. They will be removing the engineered wood fiber chips and replacing it with pour-in-place surfacing, that rubberized surface that you see at Courtney Sandcastle or our Sea Summit Park System parks as well. So that will be a project we'll kick off after the new year. And I also want to acknowledge the Friends of San Clemente Beaches Parks and Recreation Foundation are contributing $20,000 to that project as well, which is very helpful to support that funding effort. Those are my updates. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we are on to item number 8. Let's see, why don't we go through and give some reports for each of these items, and then the thing that I think we should talk about tonight is not staffing, but at least assigning those who are interested in doing that. I think we should do that for actually all 3 of these items to see who's interested and make those selections and appointments. So let me give you a brief update on the funding and sponsorship subcommittee. One of the things we're in the middle of right now is drafting a policy for the city of San Clemente for how we accept donations, particularly in light of what that donation is targeted for and a possibility of any naming rights that go with that. So we have collected some policies from other cities to kind of see what they say. I am kind of done with, I think I'm about done with drafting a policy for the city of San Clemente, although the first step is to kind of review that with the subcommittee. So this is just a very, very initial draft that will come to this commission. So I expect we will do that at our next meeting, which will be in January. No, the subcommittee's meeting, yeah. Let's see. Public Affairs Subcommittee. Ed, is there anything you want to say about that? Or would you like to actually describe for the new members what that committee?
Well, essentially it's to review or have knowledge of various legislative and regulatory action that might occur that has something to do with us and our parks and recreation operation. So, as an example, they signed into law, the last session was, I think, 150 assembly bills and about 100 Senate bills. I reviewed those, and none of them seemed to have any relevance to Parks and Recreation. But I can submit them to the committee, and you guys can look it over as well. Additionally, I was in contact with, or will be in contact with the county, just to find out if they're doing anything that's relevant to us. So essentially what this committee does is basically get information so that we can understand what's happening before it basically sneaks up behind us and all of a sudden, you know, we have to react to something or there's nothing to react to. So from my standpoint, it's an important function for what we do. Again, we take no positions. All we do is we're soliciting and getting information, and we provide it to the commission as an informational item. And then we can go from there.
Thank you. Third item on the list is consideration of establishing a Beautify San Clemente subcommittee, and we have a speaker card. Amanda?
I already spoke about it, sorry. I just wanted to do a clarification.
Lea Beard is the president for St. Clemente Garden Club, and Donna is the second co-vice president for membership, but I would reach out to Lea Beard. And then Hugh Doan is the, she is the civic beautification chair person on that. So I just wanted to let you know. And Andy, Mr. Hall has already talked about the Del Mar, and I think that's all I wanted to say. Because I already said that before, and I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda. Let me say, in regard to this, we have a few items on our work plan that we don't really have anything in work yet. One of them is this item, which I'll just read it. This is, in regard to this item, the wording says, collaborate with local garden club and nurseries to beautify our parks by planting succulents, flowers, and beautiful plants. When this came before City Council, Patricia Holloway from the Garden Club spoke and asked if we could add trees to that description, and the City Council accepted that, so that's one minor change that was made there. So that's that item. The other items that are not really in work yet out of our work plan are just two others, and let me just bring those up as well. One says, evaluate sites and spaces to install workout equipment on beaches. Costs will be incorporated into future CIP project timelines. If successful, the new equipment would improve other experiences along the coastline and provide additional amenities to residents exercising on the beach. And then the other one that we don't have anything in work yet was a review of proposed changes to the fee schedule for all programs and facilities associated with beaches, parks, and recreation. Samantha, I don't think, does staff have anything in work on that one yet, or?
No, we'll be releasing an RFP after the new year for professional services.
Okay. Would a subcommittee of this commission be of any help there, or no?
Probably not.
Okay. So then there's only two that we really don't have anything in work, so if we want to establish a subcommittee and ask them to work on one of these, we could either pick the Beautify San Clemente one or the exercise equipment one. So we want to have some discussion on that. And maybe first take a motion on which one do we want to pursue, and then we can talk about assigning people to each of the subcommittees.
So just to clarify, Chair, if I may, tonight we will be potentially choosing members to be on the subcommittees for the workout equipment, Beautify San Clemente, and Public Affairs Subcommittee. Is that correct?
Well, I was suggesting we could pick one of those off the work plan that we don't have in work yet. If you want to do two, I mean, I'm not going to say no. And then we do need to talk about membership of the funding and sponsorship subcommittee as well as the public affairs subcommittee. Any other thoughts?
I'd like to see us move forward with the garden collaboration.
Yeah, I second that. I agree with that.
Yeah, being that that's not going to be something that requires some budget from the city.
Is it, doesn't it?
No.
Well,
What's funding this effort? I'm not being negative, I just like to know what money we're gonna spend and where's it coming
Would
from.
that be a collaboration between the garden club?
Are they gonna put up money?
I mean, that's specifically called out in the description, so yeah.
Are they putting up money?
I don't know.
So if I can speak to that, when I was commissioner before, it was Patricia Holloway, she spoke to me. And in my capacity with the Rotary clubs, it was a collaboration with the Rotary clubs, the gardening clubs, and Rod's Tree Service, if I'm correct, that put the trees in.
So who pays
Also the
for
city.
it?
It was no cost to the city at that moment.
Okay, so it was gratis basically.
Correct.
And that's true of all the beautification then?
I don't know if it was all, I just know that particular
For the
RVA.
trees, for the trees.
Just
yeah.
that one event.
So I think part of establishing a subcommittee is to understand what are the costs associated with what the commission is looking to accomplish. This is a very broad item, and I think the subcommittee needs to narrow it down on what the scope is. And it's not just the upfront costs, we have to consider the ongoing maintenance costs. Planting anything, there will be a cost added, whether that's in an existing contract or not. So I think that would be the goal of the subcommittee, is to prepare recommendations to specific, really to park spaces is that was my original understanding of the item, but the subcommittee could look to make a different recommendation to the commission as a whole.
I have a question for Samantha. Samantha, when you're doing that budgeting for that, there's the initial sort of installation cost of whatever the materials are, right? And then we have to anticipate what the maintenance cost will be, which is an ongoing cost.
Correct.
So how do we address that ongoing cost?
It's something, depending on the recommendation from the subcommittee and to the commission, I would have to work with our maintenance services team to understand.
So we can kind of establish an
where the
annual
impact
cost.
is. Yes.
Let me just check in here. Terry, were you making a motion a few minutes ago to
I'll make a motion that we form a garden and, we'll make a motion that we form a garden and parks beautification subcommittee.
Okay, motion by Rousseau, seconded by Grace. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Okay, now, if we could go back up to the top of the list and start seeing who would like to participate in these subcommittees. Fundings and sponsorships, let me tell you where we are with membership there. Right now, the members are myself, Thor, and Jennifer Elliott. And Jennifer kind of backed off at our last meeting because we only had 4 people and we couldn't have 3 people attending a subcommittee meeting. So at this point, Jennifer, would you tell us how you would like to proceed here?
Well, I know that Commissioner Rousseau was very involved in funding and sponsorship, and I would like to step down so she has a position there, and she would like to stay on that subcommittee.
Yeah, I'd like that.
You want to make that motion?
Is a motion required for me to step down on a subcommittee?
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Okay, well, I'll move that I step down. Will someone second that?
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion by, seconded by Rousseau. Is that who that was? Oh, no, Weinstein, sorry. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Okay, let's do the public
Can I
affairs.
make a motion to appoint Commissioner Rousseau to that committee?
Isn't that what we just did?
She resigned.
She resigned.
Oh, I thought she did both.
No.
I thought that motion did both. Agree?
Oh, so I resigned.
No, we need to,
And now we're making a
I'm
motion
sorry,
to
I
appoint.
thought your motion did both. Okay,
I make a motion to appoint.
Second.
okay, motion by Weinstein, seconded by Johnson to appoint Terry Rousseau to the Funding and Sponsorship Subcommittee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Okay, Public Affairs Subcommittee. I guess we should probably see who has an interest in being on that subcommittee.
Well, obviously, I'm going to be on the committee.
I think so.
Sort of my idea. But I have a question. Do we have to populate these subcommittees with commissioners? I mean, I have, like, Mark Edmeyer is kind of interested in participating with this, so he's city councilman.
I don't know
How do
if
we
it's
populate
appropriate
it?
for council to participate in a subcommittee is very much outside of this commission's purview. Council would need to deliberate on that separately.
Mhm.
For this commission's purpose, you focus on establishing your own subcommittee.
Yeah, I mean, it is a subcommittee of the commission, so.
Mhm.
So to answer your question, needs to come from the 7 of us.
Is it possible just for one person to fill that seat?
Sure.
Sure.
I don't consider that a subcommittee, I guess. but, yeah.
Well, you have the subcommittee exists, and then as
He has direction
somebody
to
gets
do something.
interested, and people start
Okay.
expressing.
And it could be just 2 members, that's okay. It doesn't have to be 3, that would be fine.
It would seem that we already have staff whose job it would be to keep aware of any pending bills. Are we not already covered with our staff?
I've never seen a lot of, she has a lot else to do. I don't know how she could possibly find time to look at all the stuff that's flying around, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the idea is, again, it's an informational thing. It's really actually kind of valuable from the standpoint of us participating. But a lot of times, what happens is we'll defer this to staff. The city does that a lot, and I mean, the staff doesn't have any time to do it, you know what I mean? So
No, I understood. I just wondered if perhaps Samantha has someone on her team that handles this. I'm not aware.
So these types of matters are usually considered through the city manager's office. He usually handles all of these items. What I am included in is things that come from the State Parks and Recreation Department. I get the notifications from that group. And then but the city manager's office keeps apprised of all of the legislative bills and things where there might be funding available typically.
what does the state commission provide us? I mean, are they even relevant to what we do?
The Parks and Rec, the State Parks and Rec?
Commission, right.
I don't get information from the State Commission, I receive it from the California Department of Parks and Recreation.
Oh.
And that department's responsible for really managing and getting out the grant information that's available to municipal agencies.
And they're also responsible for the state parks, correct? And the
Correct.
waterways?
They have a very specific division that oversees the grant funding, whether that's funding through propositions that are passed or any other types of funding that comes through the state that's available.
Can I offer a suggestion? I don't think of one person as a subcommittee myself, but if we had a role for public affairs focal or something, focal point, and then keep it on this list so that we could turn to Ed every meeting and still get a report about that.
Yeah,
Does that
like
sound
an
like
affairs
something?
liaison or officer.
Officer.
You want,
Is that possible to have like a public affairs liaison? Just bring us updates when they come up.
Yeah, the commission could certainly do that under items from commissioners. We could have a standing item if that's the want of the commission.
That sounds
Sure.
good.
That works.
Is that good for you?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ed.
Why don't we, can we formalize that with a motion from somebody, please?
I guess I could move it.
You could.
Right? So I move that we have as a standing item from the commissioners a report regarding public affairs as we defined it.
Okay, and can we include on that you would be the focal for that? That you
Sure.
would be the
Absolutely.
person.
I'll second that,
Okay,
if that was a motion.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Second that.
Motion by Queskin, seconded by Rousseau. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion's unanimous. Okay, now we are at the point to see who has an interest in participating in the Beautify San Clemente subcommittee.
I'd like to nominate Amelia Weinstein to be on that subcommittee, Unified San Clemente, as she has some, existing interactions with Rotary Club and Patricia Holland. Yeah.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Grace. And if no one else is interested, I'm a gardener myself. I love it. If no one else would like to do it, I would be happy to fill that third spot.
And I would like to nominate Laura Johnson.
Since I'm already,
That's the prize there.
Ms. Elliott, which, are you interested?
No, I just,
Thanks for asking.
Just, you know. Great.
Okay, let's see. Well, we have 3 people. Why don't we, can somebody just put together one motion to nominate Weinstein, Grace, and Johnson to this?
I so move.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Weston, seconded by Rousseau. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is unanimous. Woohoo! Good job. Thank you very much.
We're having way too fun.
We get along so well.
Very well, right?
Okay, moving on to items from commissioners, Pure Pride. I just have a couple things. Pure Pride does not meet in the month of December, so I don't have any real recent information. But they were very happy with the funding, what they did in terms of funding for the year. From what we heard at the last meeting, it kind of had returned to a pre-pandemic level, so they were pretty happy with that. So, and I think that's about all I can think of.
Light Up the Pier?
Light Up the Pier?
Were they involved in Light Up the
Yeah,
Pier?
yes, yeah. Yeah, actually, Pure Pride does pay for that new lighting that's around the edge of the pier, so that was a big thing for this year. Thank you. Okay. Proposed agenda items.
I have some.
You have some?
Yeah. Well, it seems we better agendize this pickleball kerfuffle. It just keeps going on and on and on. I mean, and so I would suggest we agendize that and at least get some kind of an updated report from Samantha or from our park ranger. I mean, if there's an onslaught happening here, people climbing fences and cutting off blocks, I mean, what's going on with it? You know what I mean? Another would be agendizing an item to at least start to consider the electrification of all of our equipment for the Parks and Rec Department. I don't know if everybody's aware of this, but just one of those snow blowers or those weed whackers produces enough pollutant for a car to drive about 1,100 miles. And it's an easy thing to basically electrify. And we can do our little part for, the planet or the climate or whatever. So that would be initially maybe just the equipment, but it also could be all the vehicles. I mean, again, the Parks and Recreation Department doesn't go very far. And it's a perfect and suitable use for sort of close-range electrified vehicles. But just to put it on the agenda, maybe get a report and see if it's worthwhile.
Did you talk about blowers, or is it like weed blowers?
Everything that's got an ICE, an internal combustion engine, especially a lot of these gardening tools, they're horrific.
Using gas?
Huh?
They can use that, don't they? They can use gas.
Well, you better look the same with Bernie and see those
Yeah,
things.
City
Huh?
City
City
Council
Council,
already,
a couple of years ago,
When, where?
our city council.
I know, but where are they
When Jane
outlawed?
James was still here.
Because we're using them on our parks. I mean, I don't know what the general public is doing, but all the people, I go up to San Bernardino almost not quite on a daily basis. And, they're up there with their weed whackers, their edgers, and they're all gas powered.
I think it was a phase-in type of thing. I think the city isn't on that schedule yet.
Correct. But we're
What
getting.
schedule is that? I'm just curious.
Council, as you were saying, had talked about it, because we had asked about the gas powered as well, because I lived on the beach and that's still blowing. But apparently that's been discussed already. I don't know when the schedule is, somebody can look that up.
So we could agendize that, just to kind of clarify, like, we're responsible for the Parks and Rec.
I
the parks.
probably can just give you an update if that's something that you're interested in. The leaf blowers was a very large discussion, multi-year discussion by the city council. They did make changes to the municipal code. The parks maintenance team was impacted by that, and I believe they're transitioning into electric blowers. Regarding the fleet items, again, I don't want to get too deep into any of the conversations, so Vice Chair Preston, if you have questions, maybe you and I can talk through that offline, and then if it's still something that the larger commission would like to consider, we can look at that item. But council's very aware of the requirements of electric vehicles. We're managing that for our fleet services replacement. That's already being managed and looked at as we go to replace vehicles as well.
I'd like to see a permanent section on our agenda that just is updates of what city council has done in regards to beaches, parks, and recs items on each meeting, just so we can get some updates, like, they made some changes to, pickleball, they've made some changes to some other things that relate to, kind of fireworks plan. Is it possible just to have that as a permanent standing agenda item?
I can include those in my updates, if that would be helpful, on a regular basis. I'm happy to do that.
Okay, don't need to agendize it then.
Good idea.
I have one more item. Yes, go ahead.
Great. So I have a comment for my fellow commissioners. Over the past several months, it's come to my attention of the excessive amounts of needles that have been found at our beaches and our parks. And on the November 7th City Council meeting, our contracted security company got up here to speak about, I'll say it for quote, all we're finding is needles all day long. And we're picking them up and throwing them all days long. And you guys could go back to the agenda. So it's very well documented that there is a needle problem, and I think the city's main priority is safety, and safety for our kids, the most vulnerable. I'm aware of the County of San Diego as well as the County of Los Angeles having a needle program where they're going out to individuals experiencing addiction and homelessness, and they're providing free needles for them to shoot up drugs with. And a lot of these individuals, or some of these individuals, live right on the border, or just north of Christian Ditos. So I would like to ask my fellow commissioners one of two things. Number one, ask the city to investigate where all these needles are coming from and then take action on it, or ask the city council to write a letter to the County of San Diego either condemning them or asking them, to stop that program, because I'm really concerned that, a kid is going to get pricked and who knows what disease, God forbid, they could get. So I'd just maybe like to, have some discussion on that.
Well, isn't it an addiction problem?
So the issue is,
Needles are a product of the addiction, right?
yeah, but the issue is
Programs.
the County of San Diego has a program where they're giving these needles out, and there's a homeless encampment right on our border here, just north of San Diego. So
Now, I've been involved in a few of the beach cleanups, mostly through the Rotary, and I've not picked up any needles, and I've gone between Trussell's and the pier for the most part.
yeah.
So where are they finding needles that you're saying they're on the beaches?
Yeah.
Should we agendize?
I don't think we should discuss this further. This is getting into some pretty elaborate discussion. I do think, Commissioner Johnson, I hear what you're saying. I think there is more to that comment made by the contracted security officers. So I can give you a little bit more background on that. Staff were concerned to hear that as well at the council meeting. Quite frankly, it was a little bit of a shock to staff as well hearing that, and it was further investigated. So I'd like to follow up with you, Commissioner Johnson, on that. And that way there can be some better factual information.
But just to clarify for Commissioner Weinstein, it is documented that our contracted security did say that, they're finding a lot of needles or something to that extent.
That
Is
was the
correct?
statement of the contracted security company, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Samantha, would it be possible to give all of us an update at our next meeting regarding that issue?
Yeah, I can also, yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
Any other proposed agenda items?
Yeah, I have one more. The pickleball facility, if I'm correct, basically took a designated area for the skateboard expansion. So I think it behooves us to possibly revisit providing expanded skateboard facilities in light of the fact that we essentially eliminated the land that was designated for the for the
That's
skateboard.
temporary.
Well, they'll be there, how temporary. And they'll be there probably for years, the rate they're going. So, I don't know, I mean, I'm not trying to be, they're gonna be there for a while. How much did we spend then, was it $1.5 million? So anyway, the point is I'd like to agendize a discussion now that they don't have that site, that we discuss some alternative sites with, or have these surfboard, skateboard people come in and respond to an agendized item and see what they have to say for themselves.
Well, that site was intended to be a skateboard area, skateboard
Correct.
park area in our master plan, and that's still what's in the master plan. I still am thinking those temporary courts are going to be temporary.
Well, I guess, so if skateboard people ask me, well, how long will that be
We
temporary?
don't have that answer.
I think
if we
it's
have
probably
some-
about 5 years. Because it'll be a function of the 24 court
I don't know if we
facility.
need to build 24 in order to close down 8.
And I think we're starting to get into that
Yeah.
deep discussion again. What if we just roll that into updates from things that city council has done?
Well, I think the skateboard people would like to address the
This is
agenda.
sounding pretty specific to skateboarding. If the commission by majority vote would like to put something on the agenda, we can certainly bring something to the commission. There is no budget for adding skateboard features, whether it's at Steed or another park. That's not to say that it can't be considered in a future budget. I know that city council is aware of the concerns of the skateboarding community as our staff. I understand that. Council, I think, is working through some options, and I'm waiting to hear from the city manager on what some of our next steps might be. But if the commission wants to get an update on what skateboard features could be added, we can certainly look to that. It's not in the work plan, so that would be in addition to, but this commission can vote to have something like that added, if it's an informational item.
Well, I have to write this. Do you kind of evaluate it? Yes. Mhm.
Do you have a motion?
Yeah, sure, I'll motion that we, I'm not so sure what Samantha's going to do. Are you going to do it as a report? I would move that we agendize it, so that the people can come and speak their piece. And let us know what they want to do, whether or not we can do it for them or not.
So you're looking to provide an item that allows the public to come out and speak, just specific to skateboarding.
Skateboard parks, right, facilities.
Well, they could do that during open communication at any time, right? I'm not hearing something that you want us to decide on at the next meeting that we can put on the agenda, I guess.
I don't want to decide anything, I just want to basically have them, but I think giving it through oral communications doesn't have the same effect as having it on the agenda.
So are you making a motion for us to vote on?
Yes, I would move that addressing the skateboard facilities situation be agendized. Because we obviously have eliminated their expansion space at Steed Park.
So you need to call for a second.
Second.
Okay, no second.
Let them know.
I would like them to know, if you're going to let them know, I'd like them to know that the master plan for State Park has not changed. The last time we reviewed it. The skateboarding facility.
Well, it has
is still in that
changed.
location. Well, we changed it in order to
To build a
redesign the 24
pickleball
courts.
facility, right?
No, those are temporary courts. The master plan did not change for those courts.
Is there a way that we can communicate that to the public without inviting this on the agenda and filling this room with unhappy skateboarders? Because we really don't have any timeline.
I believe staff have communicated that to the skateboarding group.
Was the skate park ever in the master plan?
Yes.
Expansion of.
Yeah.
Expansion of it.
Still
And the master plan for Steve Park is approved with the skate park expansion.
at that
The
location.
courts added are intended to be temporary.
And when was that?
Those courts added were opened in early November. Council directed staff to add the temporary courts in June of this year. But the master plan was adopted about 3 weeks prior to them adding the temporary courts to that space.
So when was the skate park put in the master plan?
The original skate park was added in 1999-2000.
Oh,
The expansion was included in our most recent Steve Park update this year.
okay, thanks.
Any other proposed agenda items? Okay, we are down to our last agenda item.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
I move that we adjourn to the regular meeting of the BPR Commission on Tuesday, February 13th at 6 p.m. at City Hall.
Thank you.
I second.
Okay. Motion by Elliott, seconded by Weinstein. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bruce, you signed the plans for my house.